This video is for our 5.1 notes. So our first vocabulary word we need to know is a ratio. So a ratio is a comparison. So a comparison is, right, when we compare two different things. So a ratio is a comparison of two quantities. That's just a fancy word for numbers, quantities. Sorry, my dog is going crazy. Here, come here, Lloyd. Come here. Oh, say hi, Lloyd. Say hi. Okay. Okay, now go be crazy somewhere else. Okay, so two quantities, so two different things like flour and sugar, apples, oranges, red, blue. So two different things. And we are comparing them by dividing them. So a comparison of two quantities by division. And they're the same things. Like I might compare them like cups and cups. They're marbles. They are fruits. They're the same type of thing. So an example here, for every time I need 1 cup of flour, I need 2 cups of sugar. 1 divided by 2. So we have 3 ways that we can write a ratio. So I can write it 1 cup to every 2 cups of sugar. And we can put these colons here. So be sure to write these on your notes here. So you can put it with a colon. You can actually just write 1, 2, 2, and you can write the word 2. 1, 2, 2. I would say this is the least common way. So this is what we say. We don't usually write that because it takes the most time. So this is pretty common, 1 colon 2. This is what we say out loud. It's usually not what we write. And we can also write it as a fraction 1 to 2. So this is what I will be using a lot. It's probably my favorite way because as we get into some other things that we'll be doing, it's the way that I like to use the most because it's a strategy I'm going to be using later to solve some other problems. And so I like to use the fraction to write it as a ratio. So 3 ways to write a ratio. So 1 cup of flour to 2 cups of sugar. So we compared cups and cups, flour, sugar. Every time I have 1 cup of flour, 2 cups of sugar. 1 to 2, 1 to 2, 1 to 2. So there's a few things we can compare when we are comparing ratios. We can compare part to part. Whoops, did not mean to press a D. We can compare part to part. So I can compare flour to flour or flour to sugar. Here's my flour, here's my sugar. They're each part of the recipe, part and part. I can also compare part of the recipe to a total. When I put my flour and my sugar together, that makes a total, right? So I'm dumping in those ingredients to make a total of the recipe. So let's take a look here. So we're putting some marbles in a bag. So every time I put in 4 red marbles, I have 6 blue marbles. So every time it follows that same pattern, 4 red, 6 blue, 4 red, 6 blue. So my parts are 4 red, 6 blue. When I put those together though, I have a total of 4 plus 6 is 10. So we're going to answer these questions here. So red is 4 to how many blue is 6. Red to blue is 4 to 6. If it asked us what is blue to red though, the answer would be 6 to 4. So that order matters. If it asks you what's blue to red and you say, well, it's 4 to 6, that would say that I had 4 blue if you answer 4 first. So if they ask how many are blue and you say 4 first, that is not true. If they ask blue first, well, there's 6 blue, you should say 6 first. Whichever one they ask first is the number you should write or say first. So this one asks for blue first, which is 6. And then it asks for the total number of marbles, which is 6 plus 4 is 10. Then it asks for, this next one asks for the ratio of red, which is 4, compared to the total is 10. So 4 to 10. So ratios are just comparisons. We're comparing, in this case, how many marbles we have. This color compared to this color, or switched around, or this color compared to all of them together. So one thing we need to know is that the order that you list them in matters. So if it asks for blue to red and you write down 4 to 6, that is not the same thing as 6 to 4. That's a different number. 4 to 6 is not the same thing as 6 to 4. Order matters. You have to pay attention to what did the problem ask you to list. So make sure you have listed all of those ratios to complete your notes.